There's no reason why you're not enough to talk to hot chicks anytime, any place. This is a seminar about picking up girls from cold approach, about you being a nobody and you approaching her and making it happen. I guess the first thing that I got to teach you is that it's not about attraction. Attraction doesn't fit in cold approach. There is no attraction. The idea that I teach all of my students. When they do really well, I say, well done, bro. What was the first thing that I taught you? And they say, there's no reason why I'm not enough. When they fail, or when things go really bad, I say, hey, bro, hey, mate, what was the first thing that I taught you? And they say, there's no reason why I'm not enough. I want all of you to think that as well. If you don't know your value, or if you question your value, if you're worried if you're attractive or not, then you're going to waver and kind of fail and fall out of the set. Okay, you're going to basically walk away or doubt yourself in the moment, and then you're just going to leave. You're not going to get the girl. Seduction, not attraction, seduction is when your value holds. Your value is really strong. It's not going anywhere. It never fails or wavers. So that inevitably, in an interaction with a girl, she is going to start to waver and fluctuate and buckle and start to react to you. And by her reacting to you, she's going to start to question or doubt herself or get excited or have thrills or feel affection just by you being you, like natural game. But you can only eventually win that frame battle, that standoff, if you know and can trust that you have value. So when I talk about the idea that you are enough, that means that you are of value. Not high value, not low value, not superhero pickup value. You're of value. And that's actually really easy to understand. It's hard to understand things like, my game is a 10. I have instructor level game or something like that. That's like silly, you know. I have guys saying to me all the time, like, I want to be an instructor. I want to be an instructor or something like that, as though we have higher value than you. We don't. We just don't ever fluctuate in our value. Okay, that's not 10 game. I have the same value as anyone here in the room. It's just that I can hold it longer than anyone in the room because I understand this better. There's no reason why I'm not enough. Just a little trick to get you guys started. I know that probably everyone in this entire room of 130 is going to go to the same bar this weekend, Polk Street, right? I don't know where to go. You got to realize, okay, so you guys are thinking attraction. What do I do to be attractive? What do I do to be high value? What do I do to realize a reality where it's like Project X? You guys seen the movie Project X? The guy hosts the party, and because he's like Thomas hosting the party, the girl's like, oh, Thomas, come upstairs. I want to show you my tits. No, guys, it's not going to work that way, ever. It's cold approach pickup. Cold approach. Even if the girl is dying to take you upstairs, she's not going to do it. As attracted as the girl is going to be to you or you or you or you or anyone here, she's not going to take you by the hand and lead you and close you. Never. Okay, can I make that clear? Attraction is bullshit. Okay, you can be as attractive as you want, and the girl is not going to close you. In fact, the girl is going to appear to dislike you more. When a girl likes you, what we've learned is that she'll call you a douchebag and be rude to you and walk away from you and not like you. Okay, that's actually what happens because they get nervous and scared the same way that you do. So in terms of seducing the girl, it's actually you being of value and staying nearby her and letting her eventually start to waver around you. Okay? That's seduction. A cute girl, an attractive girl, is used to every guy getting nervous around her, getting like kind of introverted and reacting and acting like he's on attention, like he's on parade, acting like he's under pressure. But I don't act like that. I don't act like I'm trying to attract the girl, and I don't freak out either. I'm just being me. And we'll get to what it is to be you in a minute. So you just be you. And then eventually, you start to get the girl's mind kind of churning. And she's going to think to herself, why doesn't this guy like me? Why isn't this guy trying to attract me? And that's what engages her. That's what starts the engagement and the arousal process. Just you holding value, not even doing anything special, just being expressive and immature and fun and making mistakes, a little bit belligerent and obnoxious. having fun and sharing that with everyone, but not giving in that frame battle. So over time, that's the other essential aspect of the seduction. Being of value and time with a chick, okay? So that being the case, you can kind of like take this idea that I'm of value and go and approach any girl anytime. And when you approach that girl, she's not going to be attracted to you ever. She's never going to show any signs of attraction. But trust in your mind that if you're not wavering, if you can have enough time with her, eventually she will, okay? Key things to remember are that you add some physicality, some friendly physicality, some sociable physicality, and you're not afraid to use negative expressions. Like you're crazy, you're silly, what the fuck you. And the positive stuff as well, like you're cute, you're gorgeous, I love your shoes, I like you, we're friends, whatever you want, being expressive. And then that girl is going to start to waver, like, why isn't this guy nervous around me? Is this guy of value? And then it's not really like she's going to be attracted to you, like take me upstairs, like Project X. It's going to be more like she's just going to be engaged. She's kind of drawn to you. In the same way that if you guys are at the beach or at a resort in Las Vegas, down by the pool, and you see a girl like walking by, and she looks fucking hot, you know, a gorgeous bikini on, she's tall, she's slim, you just get drawn to it. Your head's like, oh, hello. I mean, you're wearing sunglasses, so you're like creepy, like, nah. Okay? We're like, this is what we are, like in Vegas, we're like, girl. You see, it's my favorite photo you can ever take, is like the shirt over the head photo. But that's what, you're just engaged. You're just engaged, right? You're like, oh, look at that. And that's what's going to happen to the girl. She's going to become engaged and aroused, not attracted. So she's going to be like, oh, she's just going to come back to you like, what's the answer to this relationship? What is happening here? And that continued engagement over the course of time, that is now a seduction. You not giving in your frame. I guess you can assume seduction until you fuck up, until you freak out, okay? Until you're worried about if you have any value. You know, that always happens with you in set, right? You go in for 3 or 4 seconds, and then after 3 or 4 seconds, then you're like, oh shit, it's not perfect. You fail, and you just walk away like a chode, okay? Chode out, and good night to yourself. Go and red porn it in the fucking corner on your iPhone or something, right? Now picture what I want you to be, what I am enough is. You go and approach. You go and approach the girl, and you're, hi, nice to meet you, where are you from? And she gets distracted by her friends, and you don't freak out. You just stand there like, cool, I'm in a club, speaking to the back of a girl. Sweet. I'm enough, I think, I hope. Yes, I hope. I'm enough. And then she turns around, you talk again. And she's looking like, okay, he's not freaking out. He's not trying to attract me. He's not overreacting. That's right. If I have instructor level attraction game, I can approach girls, shake their hand, and they're just going to be like the doggy dish bowl eyes, the Bambi in the fucking headlight eyes. Oh my God, not like that. Never. So I am enough. I am enough game, or there's no reason why you're not enough game, is about you trusting that it must inevitably be going on inside of the girl. So let's go back to the interaction in the bar. When you're talking to the girl and she's not, you know, she can be a little bit rude to you. She can be like, oh, is that your pickup line? And if you hold your value and you don't freak out, you don't start arguing with her, you don't start berating her or like trying to discipline her, like, oh, you're a loser for saying that. If you're like, oh, is that your best comeback? Do you say that to every guy? You don't freak out, you don't try to overcompensate, then it's going to kind of bounce back onto her. And she might lose her value. She might stop holding value. She might stop being belligerent. It can go even deeper in the seduction, right? You might be hanging out with a girl for about 2.5 hours all throughout the night. And then toward the end of the night, she's going to be like, don't think anything's going to happen with us. Don't think that I'm going home with you. Don't think you're going to get anything here. And they say that to guys all the time. And you don't freak out. You're just like, oh yeah, fair enough. Just lip service. And you just keep hanging out. You're like, oh, I'll walk you home. Whatever. Just holding. And the girl's going to be like, what the fuck? Why isn't he validating her? Why aren't you validating her, right? Why isn't he validating me? Why isn't he freaking out? Why can't I control him? And it's an engagement. It's a drawn-out engagement. This terminology that you're looking for, is she interested? Is she keen or not? It's not like that either. she wants to know, well, actually, the way you want that girl to think, if you want to have I am enough game, is you want to put her in a headspace wondering, what happens next here? So that also means you don't give away too much attraction material, as you have learnt in the so-called game. It's like you just kind of hold and stay near. You stay near, okay? I can't make that clear enough. Game is you staying near the girl and just being you, as stupid as that is. What you should do now is just be there. You don't want to be like a creepy old man about it. You want to be having fun, complimentary, teasing, chilling out, lots of expression and sharing that with the girls that you meet, as opposed to like pressuring them and gaming. Ultimately, by gaming, by running an active kind of belligerent game, that is an ego, a bad ego. And egos can take different forms. Let me not get ahead of myself, but that ego is like you putting on a face. So imagine this like hand here is my face. Or imagine like even the iPad is my face. And it's like, this is my game. Don't look at me. I'm scared behind here. I'm actually a chode underneath. I don't trust that my game's perfect, and I'll crumple and buckle and freak out at any moment. And the minute that you're like putting this like avatar in front of your value and saying to the girl, like, look at this, like, look at all that I can do, look at all my game skills, look how clever I am, look how belligerent I am. She can immediately sense that you're like the fucking Wizard of Oz with the little dude standing behind the curtain hoping to pull off some facade. When really, what's better is if you are just like that Wizard of Oz, just hanging out. So, let's get down to it. That's kind of like an intro. Whoops. Yeah, bad typo, right? Alrighty. What I wanted was this to go to my my document over here. Good way to break the flow of the seminar. That's fucking great. Okay. So, seduction. So that's how you actually seduce. And it's you being enough, you being a lump over a longer period of time, and then sharing that with the girl. An idea occurred to me that will kind of spawn this entire I am enough like manifesto that we have here today. That if I'm just near the girl, then maybe I can get her. That was it. Alex, the only chance you have of actually picking up a chick, don't fuck around with this skill stuff. Just be near her. Then, only then, might you have a chance. And the secondary kind of like silver medal thought was that if I don't get her, at least I'll learn something. At least I'll kind of be able to figure out why I'm not getting it. So what I did, after getting blown out all night from like 11 until about 2 o'clock, I'm like, Alex, find a girl and just stay near her. Slow it the fuck down. Don't game so hard. Just be there. And so I went and approached this girl, and she basically abused me for 10 minutes. She's like, oh, you're just trying to pick up girls with your accent. Oh, you're not going home with me. Oh, you're a player. You're an idiot. Don't talk to me. I'll kill you with a golf club. Just abuse. Total abuse. And then I walked away, got a drink at the bar, came back, and she's like, do you want to go home with me? I'm like, what? And this is the one that I didn't really game. I didn't like get angry back at her. I didn't say things like, fuck you, that's a stupid test. And I used to do that. I mean, you do that as well. It's like, you're an idiot. Why do you say these stupid fucking tests? You kind of like arc up at the girl when you're angry for the way that she kind of fights back at you. But that's actually, when a girl starts testing you, which we class as a passive test, every time the girl says, oh, you're a douchebag, like, you're a douchebag, I'm like, fair enough. And she's like, ooh, hello. And then just say it again. She's like, oh, hello again. So she gets more excited. So this girl, she would like say these things to me, like, you're just trying to pick me up. I'm like, yeah, okay. And she's like, oh, hello. And then she would just abuse me, and it would bounce back onto her, bounce back in a good way, that I can handle myself, that I hold my value, that there's no reason why I'm not enough. And so little did I know at the time, because I'd honestly never run game that way before. Not since I'm a coach. Before I was in the game, before I knew anything about it, I would just go to the party, and I thought girls hated me. I thought, I'm not good with chicks, and I just hang out and talk to them and be their friend. And a lot of people have experienced this, where you get into the game, and because you're starting to work so hard at it, you get laid less. Because you're not holding in the set and creating engagement, you're trying to get attraction and see if the girl likes you and is keen, but then she's never going to be that way. and all of a sudden you're getting laid less and having these massive ups and downs, which suck. And you can get kind of angry at the game. I don't need to be as belligerent. The change that I made that I want to share with you is that instead of going up and doing like intense attraction material, instead of going up and being like, I don't give a fuck of what you think of me, I wouldn't get as harsh tests back, and it became easier to hold my value over time. You understand that? So instead of me being like, boom, in your fucking face, I would be more like, I'm here, I'm just chilling, whatever. And the girl's like, oh, who are you? I'm like, oh, just chilling. Just chilling. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she'd like wander off, and I'd chill back over to her. Hey, here I am. What's going on? Now, what would happen, what you'll experience if you do this, is that at first you'll get the same reaction as you do if you're belligerent. The like attraction game. The girl will be like, oh, wow, okay, cool, and wander off after 2 or 3 minutes. But with attraction game, if you go up and be belligerent, after she wanders, well, actually escapes after the first 2 minutes of you being like bang, boom in your face, then she's always going to be like, oh, shit, he's coming. Okay? Then you're done. You've alienated her. And that's it for the set. It sucks. But when you're just chilling, being expressive, and I'm like sickeningly positive now. Compliments and qualifications from the outset. You're so pretty. You've got freckles. You're so nice. I like high heels. I like you so much. This is my game. This is my game. Like, I'm like a fucking, like, dancing little Tinkerbell, right? You can see that I'm, like, quite good at this dance from practice. But then when I cruise back to the girl, when you cruise back to the girl, she's going to be like, oh, no stress, no drama. Oh, here he is. And they'll go to the bathroom, go and dance, do whatever. And you're standing there just chilling. And then you bump into them again, but this time they've been confronted by like 11 other guys, or if you're here in San Francisco, 140 other guys in the bar in Polk Street. And what happens is you were the guy. You were the one who she could feel safe around, who she didn't freak out toward. And she's like, I can have fun with him. Maybe, like, thank God I might actually meet a guy who's not belligerently trying to attract me. Thank God, maybe I'm going to meet a guy who I can have fun with, who's not going to freak out, who maybe I can game him. And if you're just like hanging out there and not getting freaked out if the first approach doesn't go, then you can reapproach and hold your value, and it goes really, really well. If you already understand that there's no reason why you're not enough, if you can comprehend that, as I'm going to continue to explain throughout the seminar, then that girl is going to be attracted to you, engage in you, and you're going to achieve that idea that she wants to find out what happens next. What would happen if I called that guy? What would happen if I let him walk me to my front door? And then you've got fucking game. Then you're getting results. Then you're going to be closing a lot, and you're going to be doing it with a lot of girls, and it like expands exponentially. Now let's look at the other way of doing it, the socially conditioned way. Look at my money, look at my car, look at my game, look at my method. And it's going to be alienated. And then what I see you do is that you overcompensate by gaming harder, trying to be more impressive, getting drunk to block it out. And it's a bad downward spiral. Okay, when your value wavers, when you're not thinking in these terms, when you're trying to have an ability or a level of game, then it can downward spiral very quickly. If no one in this room, if this was a seminar about religion and abstinence, about not ever having sex, if this was an induction seminar about never having sex with women ever again, and there was one girl in the room and she was really cute, could that girl get laid? No one, everyone's a virgin. Everyone in the room is a virgin. You're all virgins. And there's a girl in the room who knows nothing about game and pickup, even social skills. No one knows anything about social skills. Could that girl get laid? Absolutely. Because a girl is not looking for how good you are at game. She's looking for a guy. She's looking for you as a guy. That's it. And the minute that you overdo that, you're not a guy anymore. You're a try-hard. You're a loser. You have an ego. Game ego or player ego or I'm super fucking slick ego. I never get bruised. My ego never gets bruised type of ego. Then it's a problem. So if you guys go out to the bar, you should not be thinking, what do I need to do to get this girl? It shouldn't be an active thought like that. You should be thinking, I am equally as likely to get a girl as any other guy here from Cold Approach. Okay? You realize that? Like, you walk into the bar, stop measuring the ladder of ability that you need to have to pick up chicks, to get chicks. Just think, oh, I am enough. I am of the value that I need to be in order to pick up this chick. It's not that hard to do. Now think about how that translates to when you're in the set. Instead of approaching the girl with the cogs grinding and your shoulders getting tight and your neck getting tight and your eyes getting tense, and you're like, okay, remember, all 700 videos that I put on YouTube, averaging about 45 minutes each. Voice in your head, dude, understand, you need to do that. Alex's voice like, oh, bro, you're enough to think about that. Right, so instead of being like, what you're going to do is like, man, there's no reason why I'm not enough. Sweet, fucking, how you going? And she's like, who are you? I'm like, enough. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. She's like, what? This is not good. I'm like, irrelevant. How's it going? Nice shoes. It's like, your beard's stupid. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Fair. I'm still enough. So, what are you doing Valentine's Day next year? It's like, not with you. I'm like, could be. It could be with me. She's like, you don't even live here. I'm like, I don't know, but I could live here. She's like, what are you talking about? So my value's holding. This is how my interactions look. And I know in this battle, I'm like standing here like, I'm not going anywhere. She can run away. She can even yell at me like, fuck you, I'll call security, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I'm just standing here talking about my beard. And she will freak out. And what happens is they just kind of like, and they walk away in the same way that you walk away when you're overwhelmed by chicks. You're like, that's going really well. Walk away. That's going really badly. Walk away. I mean, fuck it. The end result's the same both times. You don't get the girl. Why not get the girl, but still be of value? So when you understand that there's no reason why you're not enough, then inevitably you're going to create the scenario where the girl's thinking, what would happen if this guy walks me home? But what if you never spoke to a girl? What if, and there's guys in the room, let me ask you, who here looks at gorgeous girls, like model, hot, tall girls, and you really think to yourself, she's out of my fucking league? Anyone here been to Vegas or Los Angeles? And you like put your hand up if you see chicks and you're like, fuck, they are better than me. That's why we're doing the seminar, right? Now, I felt the same way. Absolutely, I felt the same way. And because, like, guys in my social circle when I'm young, on my footy team or whatever, they tend to kind of put you down. Not actively, kind of passively, like, I get chicks and other guys don't. I mean, once you're I am enough thinkers, you'll think the same way about guys who you know can get girls as well. Once you're an I am enough thinker, everyone can be an I am enough thinker, and everyone's like, I'm the best, even though the other guy also thinks the same thing. Well, if you don't yet think that, this is the key to developing an ability to get girls, because you're going to approach the girl. Having heard me give this seminar today, you might be highly introverted. You might be a violin player. You might be an ethnic minority in a European Caucasian society, like Australia, America, or the United Kingdom. Less and less now, but I know that kind of thing weighs on people's minds, okay, if you think you're a minority of some description. And you're going to walk up to the girl. Alex said, you are enough. There's no reason I'm not enough to talk to these girls. Don't freak the fuck out. And you're going to walk up and the results will be the same. But if you interpret those results and they're the same and you don't freak out, then you've done something called flying your own flag. You've stood up for yourself. If you walk up to a girl and you never comprehended that you could be enough, you could be of value in this social place, in your social world, you're going to walk up to the girls, and when they walk away from you, you're going to think, oh, I suck. I fail. And your value in your mind and your emotions is going to be lower than before you're in the game, when you're happily naive to value. But if you hold your value and when the girls walk away and you're willing to reapproach 1 or 2 times, and the girls walk away 4 times, they're like, okay, you're ballsy. You stood up for yourself. They're going to open their hearts to you. And you might be socially too inexperienced to get results or know what to do with a gorgeous girl's attention. You're like, oh shit, she's actually fucking paying attention. What the fuck do I do now? Fair enough. I felt the same way. The first time I did like a palm reading and a cube on like cheerleaders from Brisbane, Australia, I'm like, just like walk away like a little bitch penguin, you know? You're like, ah! Oh my God, that's enough for one day. And you feel the same way. So I'm like, for you guys who are really introverted, okay, you're gonna walk away like, holy fucking shit. I held my value. You held your value. You go home to bed, and you might be a virgin, and there's virgins in the room, I'm sure. And these things scare you. It's like Mount Everest to actually have sex or see a girl naked. Everyone went through it at a stage when they're a teenager, or as they're older. And you go up and you hold your value without being belligerent. And that girl, she's going to be like, who is this guy? He's not freaking the fuck out. He's not overcompensating. He's not freaking out. He's cool. This guy's cool. You are going to be considered cool by the girls just by not freaking out. You guys who are learning pickup, you're like, oh shit, these girls are out of my league. Oh shit, I have value issues. But anyone can achieve that straight away. Anyone can achieve the idea that there's no reason why I'm not enough. There's no reason why I should freak out when I talk to anyone who you have access to in a social space. Admittedly, am I enough for Pippa Middleton? You guys know who that is? The sister of the future Queen of England, Pippa Middleton. Okay, she's like royalty. Am I enough for Megan Fox? If I was on a desert island with either of those two people, if you're on a desert island with Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, the girl who was in the third Transformers movie, you are enough if you can get access to that girl. Humans are humans. Men are men and women are women. But if you can't get into the same VIP section where Rosie Huntington-Whiteley is going to be, then no, honestly, you're not enough. If I can never meet Pippa Middleton, fail. Okay, if I'm smart enough to get into the same space, then yes, I am enough. And I've had great times, like intimately gaming Hollywood actresses in Los Angeles. All of us guys have. And we're up there, we're up close with them. And honestly, we don't even realize they're Hollywood actresses making millions of dollars in a movie, like kissing their face, even though their boyfriend is right nearby. I won't use names because I'm going to publish this one. The boyfriend's right nearby. It doesn't matter, okay? You can get the girl. I need to explain to you now why you can trust that you are enough. I want you to distrust why you ever doubted that you're not enough. So I'm going to explain to you why you think your value is flawed. And then I can tell you why your value as being enough isn't flawed, why it's 100%. And if you know that something is 100%, emotionally, you'll have that strength you can always rely on. And then you can resist when you doubt yourself. You can resist when girls test you or like evade you or tell you off. In fact, one of the biggest reasons why girls will ever blow you out is because you're overcompensating for a lack of self-trust, because you're trying to prove a point. And so the girls will become aggressive back at you or very evasive, and then they're just going to run away. But if you're kind of just holding your value and letting it unfold over time, you're never going to get those really bad tests that might cause the set to like explode and fuck up. When you're born, you're kind of naive. Well, right, no. Maybe later. When you're born, when you're a young kid, you're kind of naive to the idea of value. You have what's called self-esteem. Not high self-esteem, but just self-esteem. That's what we call it in the English language. You walk around, you're happy, you're 8 years old, you're playing with the truck, playing with your friends, having a good time. Has anybody ever met, have you ever met an 8-year-old emo? No. Have you ever met a kid who's 8 years old with low self-esteem? Not likely. I mean, maybe if there's a real issue, like a psychological issue, but no. So the default state, you are enough. You are self-esteem. It's only when these external influences come around and tell you that you're low self-esteem that it happens. So in your physical body, let's represent that with a circle. And let me represent that here in person with my muscles, okay? My physical self, made up of bones and muscles and hormones and brain cells, which all of you have. This thing that you have, and it's worth feeling it right now, feel it. It's actually there. That is all you need. You have a body. You have balls. You have hormones. You have a pituitary gland that has the DNA in it that you need to be enough. But you forget that. when you watch TVs and movies and see your other more cool, attractive friends who are usually less cognitive than you. If you're a cognitive guy, you're going to be too aware of things going on around you, and you're going to kind of freak out. You're going to have this like too much empathy, which really can make you like into a little bitch, which is a problem. Too much awareness. The guys on Bootcamp, they're a great representation of you guys watching this, because they're like, I noticed that a girl gave me a bad reaction. I noticed that I'm not sure if they like me. Well, congratulations, Captain Obvious. You're unsure, okay? Don't worry about that. You notice these like things come, these negative reactions. You notice how people are judging you. You notice how you're coming across. You notice too much. And then sooner or later, you're going to start changing who and what you are and the way that you do things to compensate and try to please others. And that's when you start to compromise your self-esteem. And in place of your self-esteem, you project an ego. Or you don't even project it, it holds the place of the shell of what you used to be. So who you are becomes smaller. And now what you're trying to do is build like a little wall between you and the real world of what you hope to be. So for example, you know, when you're 20, you want to be like jacked and have cool clothes and have clear skin and no pimples. And you want to be smooth with talking to girls. Maybe you want to have a good car. I mean, you guys are American, so some massive fucking Transformers Bumblebee truck or something. All right? And you start kind of putting on this image. Think of like Shia LaBeouf in Transformers when he's first meeting the Megan Fox character. And from that place of lower self-esteem, you project it out. Like, oh, I'm cool. I'm pretty cool. And you're very intently noticing the reactions that you're getting back. So you're projecting this image out, and it's kind of making this little feedback loop between like what you're putting out into the world and what other people are giving back to you. Now, I'm going to kind of like exaggerate this for a moment. Think of a guy who's like really low self-esteem. Did you guys ever remember that old movie with Seth Green? It's called like Can't Hardly Wait or something. And Seth Green is like, man, I'm going to go to that party. Got like 50 condoms, fuck all those bitches. Okay? And he's like trying to be Mr. Player Man. He eventually gets locked in the bathroom and he's all sad because he can't get any chicks. And that's like a massive overcompensation. What's a better one is the character from Project X. You know the guy who's like setting up the entire party? What's that guy's name? Who knows? He's not even memorable, right? But he's like, I'm going to get all the fucking bitches. I'm here, bitches. That's like a massive ego of I'm good with girls, but he's not. It is kind of ballsy the way he throws that party and turns it around. Anyway, so from that place of low self-esteem, this ego could take any form. It could be both I'm good with girls, or it could be I'm a loser. Let's call that the James Bond ego, like I'm fucking suave. Or the Carlton ego. Carlton, like I suck with girls. Okay? I don't even know the character that well, but that's the best like chode character that I can think of. And you tend to notice if you're a chode, if you haven't been good with girls, and you have this like comfort zone where you're low self-esteem, you live within your comfort zone, and you don't take risks, you start to notice the things around you that hold that ego or reality. Ego and reality are one and the same thing. Your ego is your window that you see reality from. That defines your perception of the world and then drives your behaviors and your reactions. So if you're a chode and a girl's rude to you, your subconscious will tend to tell you, yeah, you suck. And subconsciously, you reinforce that. You almost like that, but you reinforce it because it makes you feel comfortable feeling like a chode. You reinforce comfort of staying the same. And that's fine. I mean, it's kind of thrilling to go and talk to girls, be like, yeah, I'm a chode. I'm just a chode. Yeah, I'm really good with bad reactions. I'm ballsy, but I'm not going to risk changing my reality and accept good reactions. It's funny because I'll talk to a guy like you guys on the boot camp, and we'll do 3 days, 21 hours of work together, and a girl, he'll be following the instructions. He'll get what I'm teaching him. And then he will then get a great reaction, make out with a girl, and he will say, I just got lucky. I'm like, student, you just worked 21 hours doing drills, doing exercises, and reinforcing the right ideas, and you're not going to notice that you're of value, that she actually likes you. You're going to try to retain and perceive that you just got lucky and reinforce this comfort zone here, as you can see on the screen. By me telling him that that's not him getting lucky, that is me destroying his ego and him destroying his ego. And what happens is this. His whole reality starts to get like misshapen. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that I actually like have self-esteem? I mean, what looks stronger? This like fractured reality? Like a fractured reality? Or the stuck in, like the tight reality where it looks like this? It's like a little spider web keeping you all in place. Just a chode going about your daily life. I mean, why are there like 4 million San Francisco guys from, okay, trust me, like the geekiest city in the world that I'm aware of, except Helsinki, all right? The geekiest city in the world, why are they not doing this seminar? Because they're happy at their little life, working for Facebook, Amazon, Google, playing with the computer. They don't want to challenge that. Okay, I see it all day, every day, but you guys are challenging that. The problem is a lot of you guys don't challenge it enough. If you don't challenge it enough, I mean, you might go out and you might get some good reactions, and that'll fuck up your ego. You might get some really bad reactions, and that'll fuck up your ego. And you'll come out from the end of the night, and you'll look like the shattered little dude. Like, what the fuck does it all mean? Okay? Who ever felt vulnerable after going out chasing chicks and getting a range of reactions? Exactly. Well, I'm telling you, knowingly, that you need to fuck your reality right up because you are enough. And what that means, if you have experience with not getting a lot of girls and you have a reality where you don't get a lot of girls, well, that's not a problem of yours. That's you being naive. That's you have been misled. That doesn't make you a bad person. You're just naive to what was the right thing to do. You didn't have a good mentor. You didn't have a good executive coach. You didn't ever see a hot seat, for example. You didn't have a good big brother or the right father or the right guy to say, hey, fuck you. Don't accept that reality. Accept what you need to be. It's like the Lion King. Go and watch the Lion King. It's like, fuck you, Simba. You need to be the fucking man. People need you to be the man. And that means he needs to, like, Simba or you need to go out there. You need to stop smoking fucking weed with Timon and Pumbaa. And you've got to trust that you got this shit under control. And what will actually happen is your self-esteem will come back. Okay? It will come back. And that idea is like there's no reason why you're not enough. Fucking Timon and Pumbaa. Bad influences. And then you're walking around like, there's no reason why I can't handle this. It's not a big deal. It's the ideas, these ghosts in your head of social conditioning that kind of fuck your brain up. Okay, they're ghosts. Now, let me talk about facing your fears. I don't like that at all. I hate that fucking idea. We don't face our fears. What fears? Okay, I'm from Australia. If you go to a bar and you order a drink, it's very possible that someone will punch you in the back of the head and glass you in the face and you'll lose an eye. Yeah, you laugh. Fuck you. Don't like Australia? No, seriously, it's a pretty dangerous place. In the developed world, one of the most dangerous places that I've been, although it's got a lot better in the last couple of years. If you're in Europe, if you're watching this and you're in Europe or you're in North America, you go to the bar and you're very well protected. Okay, you guys have assault laws, the way that Australia doesn't. But you have nothing to worry about when you're there in the bar. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Fuck. So you shouldn't be worried about talking to girls. Completely lost my train of thought. God damn it.
You guys not facing your fears?
Yes, good. Thank you. Facing my fears. Okay. Sorry about that. Am I? Oh, the screen? Yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry, technical issues. Yeah, the screen is recording. That is on. QuickTime's good. Okay, so if you go to face your fears, it's like this. Imagine you're already kind of like, coming from that place of lower self-esteem, highly aware of where your fears are at. And you go out in an effort to face them. You actually reinforce them. you focus on them more. I'm saying that your default state, which you've compromised by worrying too much about extraneous things, that if you start worrying about things like approach anxiety and guys in the bar or being blown out by girls or big groups of chicks, you're going to, like, all of a sudden start to really focus on this one point, approach anxiety, for example, or escalating. And it's almost going to get more and more bound up. The guys who I know who come on, who maybe they got into a relationship when they were 15 years old, and they were in that relationship till they were 25. Never really approach a girl. They're like, oh, I broke up with a chick. You know, she went traveling and never came back. Now we've got to go and approach some girls. He is enough, but he was never told that he wasn't enough. He was never really single. So he goes out there like naive. He's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll talk to a girl for the first time. Hey, what's up? And the girl's like, oh, hey, what's up? And because he has no like cogs grinding or fear, it just goes really nicely and smoothly. And it actually reinforces an ego that he's good with girls and have to swat that away. It's the guys who've been studying game for 7 or 8 years and they're focusing on their fears and facing their fears that they just blow them out of proportion. They go out trying to fight a battle with themselves, trying to fight their own ego, their own reality. They just make it stronger and stronger and stronger. And I know some of you here in this room would be on the verge of like, fuck this fucking game, fuck chicks, fuck this bullshit. I don't want to do this anymore because it's not rewarding. That's because you're focusing on a negative. You're focusing on something that's only going to reinforce. What I'm saying is don't focus on that. Focus on being enough. I'll reinforce how to do that as time goes on. But don't think about facing your fears. Think about what you want to be and what you want to do. Now that begs another question. If you don't have any problems, if you already are enough, what do you then focus on? Not so much facing your fears. Back to being enough. I'll even reset the entire thing. Instead of facing your fears and having them reinforced in a bad way, you focus on good influence. Putting it out there into the world. Showing people a good time. And that's like altruism. Does everybody know what Christmas is? Yes, obviously. Have you ever given a gift to somebody? A present, and they didn't know who it was? You guys have this Valentine's Day in America, where you can admire somebody, and they don't even know who it's from. Well, that's what that is. When you give somebody something. When you give a girl a gift on Valentine's Day, when you approach a girl in the bar and give her a compliment, does she give you any feedback? Not necessarily, but you feel awesome about it. You walk around the world focusing on giving. Now let me show you this. Most of the world, guys and girls, and by the way, this is getting where it's getting a little bit too technical even for me to explain. So I'm going to just do my very, very best. This is honestly a trial run. Complicated shit. You know how you guys are kind of like noticing reactions a little bit? Well, girls are doing that like 100 times as much as you do. They're so sensitive to every little reaction, and then all the makeup they put on, the way they dress, the way they conduct themselves, the things they say, the way they text, what they put on their Instagram, that is the ultimate, amazing, crazy ego that you've ever known. A girl is just a girl. She's cute, she's innocent, she's imperfect. But her ego is I'm sexy, I'm tall, I'm sassy, I'm Beyonce, I don't take any shit from guys, and their ego is fucking intense, okay? Now, I don't say ego like in an arrogant way. I mean the way they want to project their reality is very far removed from what they actually are. And that's why they're so sensitive to bad reactions and they freak out. If a girl's reality looks like this, or like a guy's reality, which is kind of low value, looks like this, a beta male actually thinks the same way as a female does. Looking for external reinforcement, trying to project that ego, you know, with these little strings in position here like this. And you're just a chode, a happy chode, walking around the world, being of self-esteem, being enough, and giving out that altruistic energy, literally in the form of compliments. Just being expressive, challenging people, being confrontational, being competitive, acknowledging people, then obviously the two go together. You are a leader, and you are going to attract these sort of people. You are going to attract women. Women, I don't want to say categorically that women are low self-esteem. It's not true. But men can hold value in a way that women can't. And girls know this. And it's a hormonal thing that we have as men. This is the one misogynistic part of any I'll ever talk about. We as men can just be solid, emotionally level. Not strong. I'm not going to say that we're emotionally strong. I'm saying we're emotionally resilient in a way that a woman is not. And that's why girls love us. And that's why we love them. We don't love chicks because we overpower them. We love them because we show them a good time. Not because they validate us. If you like chicks because they validate you or your game, or you can show friends pictures on your iPhone why you're good with chicks, the two can't coexist. But if you're in the game because you know that you'll get no validation from a chick, that a chick is unpredictable, that you're in the game to show a girl a good time, then they're going to come to you in fucking droves. Because imagine, I'll just quickly imagine your reality is the chode reality. And you're approaching a girl with that really low self-esteem. And you're approaching I'm a player. Look how good with girls I am. Do you want to come and hang out with me? And you even kind of reinforce it. Look at me. Look, I'm really low self-esteem. You're like a motherfucking black hole. Raise your hand if you ever met a guy who you thought felt like a black hole. Now, who's ever dated a girl? That old question, that old awkward question. And you felt like sometimes she's a bit of a black hole. Okay. It's not a bad thing. We all have our bad days, we all have our good days. We all have our bad days, we all have our good days. It's really good when you're in a relationship with a girl for a long period of time. You see and you trust that over a longer period of time, you're more consistent. You're not better, but you're emotionally more consistent. And that's why guys, as we are attractive to girls. We make them feel valued in a way that is extra for them. That's just their psychology. And it's the most altruistic manipulation you could ever do. And I say manipulation because you don't have to do it. You don't have to compliment a girl, but you can. You don't have to give your child a Christmas present on behalf of a fictional Santa Claus, but you do. We don't have to compliment girls or be nice to them, buy them drinks or look after them, but we do because it's awesome. I swear to God, making a girl smile or cry from doing something sweet, and honestly, that's how I feel. Okay, there'll be some guys out there who'd never go to a seminar like this. Motherfucker. But it's nowhere near as good. And for those control freaks out there, here we go. Those guys who like control, as casting a fucking spell. The control of casting a spell on a girl. When you do nice things for her, you seduce the fuck out of her. Give her compliments that are meaningful. Explain why she makes you feel good. It's called a qualification, or as we call it in the statement of motivation, why I'm motivated towards this girl. She will freak out, and you're actually basically stroking her ego. Has anybody here ever given you a compliment and you're like, yeah, I'm good with girls. Yeah, I've got a good buddy. Yeah, I'm good. I've got a lot of money. And you kind of gravitate back to that person because you're like, yeah, when I'm around this person, I feel validated. Well, you can be that for the girl. Like I told you, my game is basically fairy dancing and complimenting. I'm like, God, you're so pretty. I love freckles. She's like, no. I'm like, I insist that I have to walk you to your front door. I mean, I'm not going to trespass on your property, but I insist that I walk you home. The girl's going to be like, oh my God, he cut every other girl out of the bar out of his life, and he's actually making an effort to follow me home. Now, what do you think, attraction people? Generic terminology. It's low value to insist that you follow her home, or at least follow her to the front door where you walk her out of the club. The girl's going to be like, no, you don't have to. And you're going to be like, you're right. I don't have to follow you out of the front door, but I insist because you're awesome. I don't want to talk to anyone else here. In fact, fuck you, watch this. Grab the girl by the hand, put her hand on your arm, put your arm around her, whatever you want to do, and approach other girls while you're with her and say, you know what? See all these other chicks that I can approach? I'm still here with you. If I had a choice, you're it. I'm not saying that I have a choice. You have free will. But I choose you. You are my preference. I like what we've got going on here. And she's going to be like, validated upon validated upon validated in a good way. You are what we call the man in her life. Not the man, but the man in her life. She goes from her father to the man in her life. And girls like feeling girly in that way. I wouldn't say we can compare ourselves in terms of value. I would say that men and women should compare ourselves in terms of opposites. We're opposites that go together. So when I'm talking to a chick, just kind of cruising around the bar, basically avoiding. Chicks are avoiding being devalidated. You know what? I should have mentioned this a moment ago, but this ego that people, low-value beta male guys project is both putting out what they want to be seen as and putting out a defense barrier so they can kind of avoid the blind spots. They don't want to be recognized badly. Who here, right now let me ask you, who here when you look in the mirror, sometimes you don't want to look in the mirror? Put your hand up. You look in the mirror and like you just wash your hands, you don't want to see. Experience that? I used to experience that. You know why? It's because the image and ego and reality you have in your head is different from what it actually is in the mirror. It's called low self-esteem. When I look in the mirror, do you think we're like, fucking yeah? No, especially not now. I mean, like, stupid beard. I'm like Jack Sparrow, you know? No, I'm just like, oh, there he is. Good old me, good old enough, great, awesome, whatever. Good on ya, cunt. I don't give a shit. It's like, it's there, it's just there. He's still there, he's not going anywhere. Trust him with my life, no worries. Whereas for the girls, well, they are the only people who really validate their ego are like half of their friends. The other half, they don't like their own friends because it doesn't perfectly fit their ego. And it's funny because a beta male who marries a female, they have to be perfect keys. 2 keys that fit perfectly, okay? And they have to fit perfectly. Their egos have to match perfectly at that time. But they have fights all the time because the ego is fictitious. 2 egos are fictitious. They don't fit. And there's a lot of divergence and a lot of like negative feelings. You'll even have it with some of your friends. Ego clashes. Girls have it with their friends. And the reason why girls don't like being approached is because you don't really meet what their ego tells them that they are. Pretty or sassy or cool or something like that. That's why girls run away a lot of the time because they don't want to feel this elaborate, you know, their reality is an elaborate web of projection and validation. And if you devalidate that, then they've got a big problem. They go home crying. If you want to start with a basic one, and this is what we call a statement of motivation because guys are so caught up in their own ego validation and projection, they never give out a compliment. Who here compliments in their game? Good, okay? Literally about only 25% of the room. Probably, hopefully, a lot of guys who have seen my videos on my hot seat compliment a lot. My game is all compliments. And then once in a while, I'll throw in a challenge or a neg or something like that. But when I approach the girl, if you guys approach the girl and you say, hey, oh, what's going on? You're attractive. You're attractive. Generic most compliment ever given. You're cute. You're pretty. Oh, you're very cosmetically expressive. I love it. Right? You're cosmetic. The good thing about America is the girls know how to do their makeup. Very, sometimes deceptive. Very deceptive in the way that they can put it together, but you're just rolling around like, what's going on? Sorry, just undo that one. How you going? Having a good day? Oh, you're really pretty. I like your freckles, I like your shoes. You're like exquisitely dressed. You're a fashionista. Stuff like that. It's not a big deal. Have you guys seen Gordon Ramsay or Simon Cowell? Great example of an alpha male. Simon Cowell or Gordon Ramsay, if he doesn't like something, he's like, what the fuck? Simon Cowell, he's been doing it for like 11 years. He's like, get the fuck off the stage. But if Simon Cowell, or Gordon Ramsay is like eating in a restaurant, Gordon Ramsay is the best example because he's on TV for being like Hell's Kitchen. But when he's eating the food and the young, cute waitress picked out of the entire staff to be on TV brings the food, he's like, thank you, darling. Thank you, sweetheart. That's amazing. You look great. Thank you. He's the sweetest. The sweetest. He's a fucking sex symbol, Gordon Ramsay. Looks like somebody put out a fire with his face with like a pitchfork. Like his face is messed up. He's not an attractive guy. But he's so complimentary. And for all of us, we can easily be sweet to girls that we cold approach. And the good thing is, when you create a relationship where you're sweet to the girl, and she likes you because you're a sweet guy, just like Bang Yang, he's a real sweet guy. And then once in a while, he's like, you're seriously fucking disappointing me right now. It's like, whoa. Okay, because it's meaningful. It means something. And it's not like you're negging, a person, a buddy of yours, or a girl or a girlfriend is inevitably going to be like disappointing or a little annoying, or maybe you want a break. You might say, hey, just give me a break, girlfriend. I'm going to go hang out with my buddies for the weekend. We're going to take the weekend away. I can use a bit of man space. And she's like, what? Am I not good enough? Like, what's happening? Like, just chill. And then it means something. It's about being expressive and sharing your feelings. So that's how the relationship should work. Let me go deeper into my notes now again. Okay, good. Here's how the two realities compare. Have you ever heard the terminology strength of reality or identity crisis, or like just basically not knowing who you are? Well, here is what is happening. I want you to live in a reality, in your own reality, where at any time, in any place, you can win any frame battle because your ego is unbruisable. Because you know exactly who and what you are, and no one can take that away from you. Now, some guys get a really, really strong reality by external reinforcement. So I'm going to use the example of Transformers 1 because most people have seen it, especially you guys from here in America. That guy that Megan Fox is dating at the beginning of the first Transformers movie is like the big sports jock. Now, he has an ego. He's rich, he's got a good car, he's got muscles, all of his friends like him. He's popular at school. And you guys here in the States, more so anywhere in the world, and everyone watching on the video at home, you guys know American movies. You guys pedestal the legend guy, the quarterback, big time, the prom king. The prom king. He's like God. And that guy has a really, really strong reality, but it has an Achilles heel, more than self-esteem. It looks like this. Imagine this is strength, okay? But this is the scale of ego, and this is the scale of self-esteem. Your identity is going to be somewhere on this scale. A weak identity is going to be somewhere like down the bottom here. Okay, let me show you how this works. A weak identity is going to be like this. And to be honest, that's where most of you are. You have a weak identity. You're fighting a battle between what your balls and your hormones and your innate urges are telling you. Your self-esteem, your biology is saying, go and chase girls, go and have fun, go and be adventurous, go and take risks, go and be a bit competitive. Okay, go and challenge people. Go and be affectionate. Go and be romantic. Go and be the Dos Equis beer guy. That's what you want to be. You want to be the leader of your own group of friends. You want to get every fucking girl. You want to try to get every girl. Let me say this. You don't want to get every girl. You want to play for every girl. That's your ballsy self. And even me speaking about it now, I'm looking at the audience, and people are like, fucking yeah. Let's fucking do that. That's the self that you are in Vegas. That's the self that you are in Mexico when you go on holidays to Cancun or Acapulco or Cabo. But then there's society. What society tells you, the chode role that you're cast in. Shut up, sit down, fuck off, don't talk, Obama's the king, or the prom king is the king, something like that. And the end result is you're fighting this internal battle between, should I do what society tells me, or should I do what I do? The end result is you've got a weak fucking reality. Now women, they are told that they're pretty, that they're attractive, that they are currency in nightclubs. Women are currency and status. And they have a strong, negatively reinforced reality. But ultimately, on this scale, their reality is stronger than what yours is, because you're fighting this reality battle. The prom king, his reality is usually up here, but it's still on this scale. Everything is reinforcing him more than anything. But he's got an Achilles heel. It can't be like absolute, this reality. but it is going to be stronger than a girl, and it's definitely going to be stronger than the peasants like walking around the school hall, okay, which is most of us. Then there is the self-esteem. And all of you can probably remember at high school, there was one kind of like free thinker who would do what he wanted, had some unique interests. He was respectful to everyone, disrespectful to no one, didn't freak out towards anyone, and he had self-esteem. He wasn't like openly accepted and worshipped because he wasn't like, you know, the football star, but he just did what he did. And he is unshakable. And you can be that. You can win like a reality battle with any guy who has an ego because he'll eventually freak out. Guys need to be validated as well. I mean, if you, as a guy who's got good game, good self-esteem, and you go to a guy who's like at a table, first thing he's going to do is like, look at my table. Would you like a drink? Let me buy a whole round of drinks. In the it's great. I approach this guy who dresses like full game facade, and he buys me 2 bottles of rum in the nightclub. I'm like, here, don't have one, have 2. Because I'm not validating him, and it makes him need it more and more. Okay, Kevin, can you get me some orange juice, like urgently? It validates him more and more. Have you ever had a feeling where your ego kind of blows up like a bubble? You start getting a whole lot of girls. You're in the game. You go, you get a lot of numbers. Chicks love you for the entire night. You're like, fucking yeah. Well, that's external reinforcement, mate. And then you go out the next night with that inflated ego, with that extra external reality, like an economy bubble. And then you go out and you approach the first couple of girls and they're like, ugh. And it's even exaggerated because you're like, I'm good with girls tonight because I was good last night. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. And it bursts and you have a fucking identity crisis. Or the dreaded state crash. What do you think's going to happen if you're always like fluctuating and fucking around? Not good. Not good at all. What I want you to do is start devalidating the bad reactions and start devalidating the good reactions and only do what you do, only be enough. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start to climb this ladder. And the good thing is, once you understand and trust this process, you're only going to go up and up and up and up. The only danger to losing this is when you lose reasons or kind of like ways that you can influence or express yourself. If you lose people around you or girls around you that you can express yourself onto, validate and give value to, compliment, challenge, call them out if they're not being as good as they can be. If you stop having those people around you, then you can start to doubt yourself. I mean, what good is a king without a kingdom? What good is a leader without people around him to inspire? And you can be that in your own life. Let me put it to you another way. I want you to understand that everyone can be of value at all times. That everyone in this room is capable of getting the same girl. Okay, you don't need a level of game, you just got to be capable of getting the same girl. Has anyone heard of the continent called Europe? I mean, you are American, so I don't really. We know Europe. Okay. I'm going to do a very bad drawing of Europe right now. We have England, we have Scotland, we have Ireland, we have France, we have Spain, we have Portugal. Let's do some colours over here. We've got fucking, Amsterdam, we've got fucking Germany, Austria, Italy, we've got Poland over there, Sweden. Oh, we're Sweden, we're fucking Sweden. And there is Finland, but we'll just do a dots for Finland. So, alrighty, so we have England. Now England is red. England is red. Scotland is blue. Spain is kind of orange, it's down over here. France is kind of blue. Germany is actually white. Austria and Switzerland, they're red as well. Italy is like green and orange. All right. Poland, I don't know what color. I think it's actually, no, it's red. Lisbon, closer to a kind of a maroon color. Anyway, imagine a guy from all of these different countries. Imagine you are an individual from your own walk of life. Some of you grew up in America, some from California, some from maybe the East Coast. Some of you guys are South American and you've migrated here. Maybe you're Australian like me. Who has more value? Who's more expressive? Which individual guy will the girl like more? equal, really. They are all enough. They are all a country. You are all enough individually. But let's compare. What's a better culture? England or Germany? English culture or German culture? What's better? Drinking in pubs and football and bad weather and red buses? Or like sausages and pork and stupid fucking hats and Steinschweiger and the Black Forest of Germany? What's a better culture? Both, really. They're just different. Who's better, this guy or this guy? This guy or this guy? You or your buddy? Who's better? They're just different cultures. Now, as a tourist point of view, put yourself in the girl's perspective. The girl wants to experience not just one culture, but many different cultures. The girl, she wants to travel to, metaphorically, imagining that you're like fucking Kosovo or Crimea, an undefined country that's not good enough, that's not of value to meet the girl and host the girl with your culture. I mean, stop gaming the girl and start cultivating your personal culture. What would you do if you took that girl on the date? How do you like to compliment her? How do you like to show your host around? I mean, your guest around. If you were going to compliment a girl and really hit on her and make her feel really welcome, what would that be like? And you're not focusing. The problem with guys learning game, and in this part of like self-development and game, with guys learning game, you're too focused on beating your fears and self-help, compensating for failure or not being good enough instead of cultivating awesomeness. It's kind of scary. I mean, calls me. He's like, dude, if you're telling these guys that they're enough, then do they need a boot camp? Yeah, you do. Because we know how to bring that awesomeness out of you. Okay, the best way. When I look at you guys, when I look at a student, when I look at any of you guys, most guys who have issues with like value internally, they're facing their fears. And we need to be like, dude, you don't have any fears, just get on with it. Have fun. You are enough. And all of a sudden you start having fun and being good at it straight away. For the guys who don't have big issues with value, what we do is make you supercharged. And this is not an ad for Bootcamp. What we do is we make you supercharged for expressing yourself, complimenting other people, not reacting and not basically giving in your personal borders when the girl or other people attack you or question you. Instead of you doing like self-help, this is a dangerous terminology. Self-help implies that you are not enough. Learning natural game is about doing this. Let me show you. We assume that you are enough. But it's not good enough for you to go and walk into the bar and be like, hey, I'm enough. What's going on? You need to be expressive and you need to be fun. So we help you to understand that it's okay not to be defensive or evasive or self-compensating. We show you how to be expressive, how to come into alignment with what you really want to do and the way you really want to be affectionate. So most guys, they're just there. They're just introverted. I'm thinking of like a socially well-adjusted version of you that doesn't approach. And we have you in the set. You should be in set talking and talking and talking and talking. And before you know it, you'll start to hit on that well of truth. Your truths will come out. Like a deep and meaningful conversation that you've had with a girl in the past. And it's funny, like, it doesn't matter what your individual personal culture will be. I mean, Italian guys like a certain type of food, British guys like a certain type of food, Swedish guys like a certain type of food. But if you get a girl one-on-one and just talk her ear off, she is going to be seduced, okay? As long as you are enough and you have faith, like you have belief in yourself, you know how to stand up for yourself. If you are a well of emotions to a person who is stimulated by emotions and these things are flowing out of you, then it's going to go well. So when you're learning game, this is self-expansion of ability of what you are capable of doing, not a compensation. The best metaphor is yoga. Can all of you guys do yoga? No. I mean, some of you guys have done it before. Can you do like flexible moves? No. I mean, I can't do it. Is my body capable of doing it? Yes. So in learning about game and learning about expanding your value and knowing how to share that with others, it's about, sure, having a mentor. It might be your father, your friend, us here. And we help you to get into position and help you to expand and do these movements and teach you what you're possible of doing, instead of sitting at home reading about what you dream of doing or thinking that you're never good enough to do it. And that's why, in this case, mentorship is good. Or even an example, things that you see online, in-field videos are great examples. Watching other guys in the bar. But that's not to say that you can't go and, watch yoga on YouTube, sit there and try to do it yourself. You'll do a fuckload. You can teach yourself yoga, absolutely. And that's the example that I want to tell you here as well with game. You can teach yourself game. I mean, you can also learn it from mentors, and it's going to make it better. I want to explain, with your sense of self and with your sense of identity, what you do in the world are kind of like badges of honor, not things that constitute who you are. I mean, if you played in the NBA, it doesn't make you an NBA player. If you're a loser who had to file for bankruptcy, it doesn't make you a loser. It actually is a badge of honor that kind of like reinforces your self-esteem. So it's like that. I mean, you might have got kicked out of home. You might have been in fights and survived. Anything that you survived is a badge of honor. Some of them are good and some of them are bad. Okay? Maybe you failed school. Well, it's a badge of honor. Something that reinforces your expression. Some of the biggest losers in life that I know are actually very expressive, fun, outgoing guys, because they know these bad trials and tribulations they've been through, that doesn't bring them down and make them feel like a victim. It makes them feel like, fuck, I'm invincible. And that's actually kind of how the guys that feel. I mean, I came from a dark background. I came from a very dark background. Okay, and I came from a kind of a rocky background as well. I've done some amazing things, traveled the world with my life. It doesn't make me an awesome guy. You wouldn't know it if you met me right now. I'm not going to walk up to a girl and be like, hey, I travel the world. I'm fucking awesome. In fact, actually, I do say that. I just say that I'm a photographer. But not until after knowing her for a little while, because otherwise it just looks like I'm compensating. I want to do an experiment. Brendan, right? Brendan is 19 years old. I don't know if Brendan has any value as a man. Brendan told me that he left college. Not going to college, 19, got a shit job, not very good with girls, and he dreams of being a pickup instructor. And to be honest, it's kind of fucking gay. No, I'm actually serious. You're kind of on the loser scale. I think you're a loser. But fair enough, you're a loser, you can maybe make that up. Are you a loser?
No, I'm not.
How do you know?
Because it doesn't matter what you say.
I'm the fucking authority here. Brendan.
Sure.
It's Brendan, right?
Yeah.
Didn't even remember your name. Who works in security. Not good with chicks. Fucking failure. Got some fucking pipe dream. Fail.
I'm still here, though.
Good. Now, he's a good student of game. The point is this. Brendan's actually a legend. Okay, he's going to have his own company by the time he's 24. He's in the military. He's going to be a Marine. Marine? You're in the Marines? Yeah. Fucking gangster. He left home when he's 19, making it on his own, working in security 2 years before he can get to a nightclub. So he's got that shit under control, so he can fuck all the girls in the bar. He's learning Natural Tim's business course he's going to, so he can make his own money, travel the world. He's getting to know me, networking. This guy's better than all of you. You are better than the rest. Seriously, fucking seriously. You're the fucking man. You agree?
Yeah, I do actually, yeah.
Fail! That's ego. That's ego. That's a form of ego. This is how it works. I want to say this to all of you guys right now for different versions. And it works mostly, it was my Scandinavian guys, the Danish and Swedish guys. They just couldn't comprehend that they're of value. So if I say to you, Brendan, and the guys at home, that you're a fucking faggot, you're a little 19-year-old loser, with white socks and a purple shirt and an ugly fucking face, you say, I am a man, okay? And if I compliment you and pump you up, you say, I'm just a man. I mean, you're the fucking man. You're better than everyone here. You're cooler. You're in the Marines. You've got a head start on life. There's guys in this room who are like 40 years old, haven't been laid, and you probably are getting laid. You're the fucking man. You're the best. You're the best. I'm just a man. Say it.
I'm just a man.
You're the best.
I'm just a man.
You are the fucking best.
But I'm just a man.
You're all faggots. He's the best.
I'm just a man.
You're fucking ugly.
I'm just a man.
You're ugly.
I'm just a man.
You look like a baby.
I'm just a man.
You're a fucking idiot.
I'm just a man.
Don't ever talk to me again or anyone here. No, I am a man. I am a man. I said to any of you guys, look at this guy with the fucking long, stupid hair. Fuck you. What do you say? Say, I am a man.
I am a man.
Okay, you're cool. You're in good shape. I can see. You're very stylish. You are unapologetic in the way that you express yourself. You're expressive. You're better than everyone here. Girls are going to love you. Not this fucking faggot. Girls are going to love you. I am a man. I'm just a man. So any amount of pumping up, girls liking you, like getting girls like appreciating you, and like, we like you, and you walk away from the bar like, I'm good with chicks, bad news. Because it's going to inflate an ego, and you're going to be like, I'm good with chicks, right? And you're going to be trying to drag that out of people next time. And that's the one where I catch guys up. I mean, I can start abusing you. Any girl can probably start abusing you in the bar, right? She can start abusing you, and you're like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of me. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of me. Great. But when they touch your arm and they start complimenting you and you desire to tell your friends why you're good with girls, that's when your reality is wavering. It's externally being validated. You're not getting the girl for you to get the girl. You're getting the girl to show her a good time. That's what it is to be I am enough. It's like sharing that value with others. That's why I want you to have rock solid value. Imagine if from now on all of you go to the bar, you're all going to get rejections and you're all going to get different forms of good reactions. If those reactions never pump you up and those rejections never deflate your ego and you realize that it's just, that's just the way it goes. Some girls are in a position to meet you and get to know you. Some girls simply are not. I mean, you think guys who are the most experienced in game, we get every girl? No, every girl. So, every girl's going to give me a different reaction. Every girl's going to give you a different reaction. The difference is, the thing that makes you really good with game and is going to make you better with game and meeting girls and getting to the point where you can seduce girls and show girls a good time is when you hold that value. When if she pumps you up, searching for a drink, that you don't get pumped up and you're just chilling. You're just like, yeah, no big deal. Some chicks like me, some chicks don't. If the girl's like, fuck off, douchebag, with your long hair and your purple shirt. You're like, oh, yeah, fair enough. Can't please everyone. What can you do? You're going to hold the frame. They're going to run away. But the difference is now you can reapproach. You can form long interactions, long relationships. If you can reapproach, then you can seduce. Okay? Then you can seduce. We'll get to you in a second. And actually, it happens that way. The girl will rub your arm and be like, oh my God, you're so nice. And you're like, just the fact that she's rubbing my arm right now doesn't mean that it's on. People always ask me Alex, that girl's jumping all over you. Why don't you drag her home? Because guys who get it, the way I want you to get it, know that if the girl's rubbing your arm, it doesn't mean that it's on. Okay, you're just going to hold. If the girl's freaking out and calling you a douchebag, it doesn't mean that it's off. It's starting to build that engagement. And to be the best, for you to be the best with girls that you can possibly be, you need to be consistent in the idea that you're of value. Never getting high value and never getting low value. Then you're ready for action at any time of the day, any time, any place. On the plane, sitting next to a girl on the plane, walking to work, in the office, at the Christmas party, as long as you can make the logistics. I mean, if you are enough and you're not overcompensating, you're aggressive in your game, and just I'm enough, you're a chick, we've got a good relationship, we've got physicality, we're a bit flirty, then you achieve the dynamic of making the girl comfortable to hang out in isolation. Okay, you become the guy who can naturally make a girl comfortable to hang out with you in isolation at the end of the night, walk her home, take her on a date. You achieve a dynamic where the girl wonders what is going to happen between you and her because you haven't put all of your cards on the table because there's no point getting ahead of yourself. And you haven't given in. You haven't shot yourself in the foot and walked away, which most of you do. And you kill the set. You kill it. Everyone walks away. It's so stupid. Everyone like even walks away knowing that they can never talk to the girl again with one last big effort. Like, do you want me or not? Is it on or not? Is it fuck or not? And then you're done. You've alienated. This way you can actually be like the flirty guy with potential everywhere you go. And then you can be consistent. Now, this idea of state and state crashes and being pumped up and being relaxed and stressed, I want you all to have an amazingly relaxed, consistent state. Could you guys turn up the air conditioning? Make it colder, yeah. You got to realize that your state also applies to this little diagram here. When you go out, you might even be kind of like low state. Self-esteem, your state is actually state the way that it's been explained in this context of game. It's so easily misunderstood that when, you get this like amplification and this high energy, this like little buzzing energy inside of you, it's like this kind of thing happening, right? It's like, it's not good. It's a stressed anxiety, an energetic stress. It starts from a base of stress. It starts from a base of how are people reacting to me. And the thing is, state, the way that I've seen it, being in state, is when you're going around and everyone fucking loves you. You know what I mean? Everyone fucking loves you. You're in state. Or on the other hand, it can be like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of me. Watch this state. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, watch it. Fuck you. State. You go home at the end of the night. Alone. Or in the police, with police truckers on. That's what state is. But that's really a misunderstanding of state. And so we have spawned a new explanation that is a two-tiered explanation of state. Relaxed arousal. The way it works is more like this. If you're a regular guy, which you all are, if you are of value, if you are enough, which is not high value, you got your self-esteem, you're just hanging out in the bar, that's called being relaxed. Now, I'll even say admittedly, if you're going through the world, right, if you're a regular guy, if you work in a job, if you have female friends, if you have a family, if you have finances, these things are going to weigh on your mind. All right, maybe you need to have a beer or two to kind of take them off your mind. Fair enough. You're going to be what is called another great diagram to demonstrate the idea of being inside your head. Imagine it's like being inside of your head. When we all go out at night, we're a bit anxious. We're aware of how we're coming across. We're aware of how girls are looking at us. We're aware of our game, self-conscious inside of our head as depicted here. Well, you know what happens? What we want you to have happen is this. If you've ever felt like really, really relaxed, if you do a couple of approaches, take a couple of deep breaths, bounce up and down, then you should start to kind of shake free these concerns on your Friday night, Thursday night at the wine bar, at your salsa club, whatever it is that you do to socialize, and all of a sudden, that self-esteem is going to come back. But that is not state. That is not game. You're not going to have game if you're doing it that way. You're just going to be there, which is the right starting place to be. You're going to be there, and that's the start. And that's what it is to be relaxed. You've dropped the anxiety. You're outside of your head. And it looks like you're bored. You're bored. You're in the bar and you're like, friends, girls, drinks, It's called being bored. I want all of you to embrace the fact that it's okay to be bored. Okay? People feel guilt. Men, you guys feel guilty if you're bored in a social place. Don't. That means that you're at the right baseline. And you have monopolized your emotions. You've shaken free. You've shaken off all of these like external influences. When you're bored, these like things don't matter to you. You literally have erased all of them as I'm depicting here. But then what? What do you do when you're bored? You provoke. You compliment. You tease. You embrace. And you take risks. And these things that you initiate from a baseline of monopolized state and emotion, you control what you do with them. So you could give someone a compliment. It could be positive. You could go up to a girl, and if you want to be a real dick, say, are they clown pants? I set little challenges for myself, like how many guys can buy me a drink in the bar. And that ultimately is me going out and putting a negative energy into the world. But see this like little mischievous grin? It's like I'm getting free drinks. All of a sudden, I'm mixing up these emotions and sharing them to the world. And am I going to get a drink from a guy? I don't fucking know. But I'm creating something out of nothing instead of trying to get a reaction for validation or trying to defend or push someone away to avoid pain, to avoid ego bruising. And so you really should be motivated not by getting girls, but by boredom. Has anyone ever felt bored in a club? Perfect. Perfect. Did you ever think to yourself, this place is boring, fuck it, I'm leaving? Idiot. Dr. House says, idiot. That was the perfect emotional space to be in to meet girls. You're bored, there's a really hot chick right nearby, you are enough, you don't really care, but you're not belligerently not caring, you're just not caring, you're unapologetic. You're unapologetic. And you're just like, I'm bored, and look at you. And you're like judging her, good and bad. She's gonna be like, what? What? She's gonna start reacting and she's gonna start laughing. We play this game on, I wanna share it with you now. And you say, the game is called, what stupid shit will people say next? All right? So you gotta stay in the set for 60 seconds. You can walk away after 60 seconds, right? You go up to the girl and you just look at her like, hey, say nothing for 60 seconds. It's like, what? Who are you? What? What? And you'll start laughing. And because you're not taking anything. You're not seeking anything. You're not taking anything. You're not trying to achieve anything. You win that frame battle because you're just holding. You're just holding your frame. And she's like, what? It's like, who is that guy? And it's not like what you would think is good game, but you're causing that person to react. Now, what will actually normally happen is after about 7 seconds, the girl's going to be like, pfft, and walk away. Fucking light. The girl's going to walk away. Kevin, can you look at this light, see if there's an issue? What you've got to do then to win this game, the what stupid shit will people say next game, is you've got to make sure that you get that 60 seconds in by reapproaching. Okay? So she's going to go off with her friends. So you're just going to cruise around, see her again, tap, tap, be like, what's up? She's like, what? And you're going to laugh, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to be aroused, not in state. Okay, I fear that word state because it's almost like you add energy on top of anxiety to get in state or something. Whereas the boredom is a self-controlled thing. Think of the guys who you've known who've always got girls. Do they look bored socially? They look either really bored or really fucking immature. Okay? The ones like wrestling on the floor, dancing like a moron, growing a stupid beard. This is boredom. And we are the ones, and you can be the ones doing the same thing. What form will your boredom take? Who knows? But it's coming from a place of boredom. It's purity, and it's fun, and it's giving, and it's altruism. And you know what the girl's going to say? That's stupid. But that's arousing. You're stupid. And follow you around. Okay? For those times you've got laid and been bored and then aroused, relaxed arousal, when you've had that relaxed arousal, I bet your game looked like, I don't really care. This girl's not even that hot. Whatever. You're being a little bit of a dick. You're giggling and she just follows you around. You got to realize as well, with I am enough game, with being of value game, that time is such your ally. Time is your ally. If you want to get the girl, you're not going to get any results, but you're going to build a better relationship and make her kind of react to you more than anyone else. And that happens over time. The girl is going to have a lot of different priorities in the bar. Her friends, other guys she already knows, and then all of a sudden you are the new guy speaking to her. You're kind of like low on the rankings of things that she wants to focus on. The way that you climb up those rankings of things that she's interested in is continually presenting yourself in a way that isn't offensive and doesn't beg confrontation. And everyone can do that. As inexperienced as you might be 21 years old, never been to a bar. You might be a virgin. You might have come from like a high school where there was no chicks there. And any guy can do that. Any guy can walk a girl out of the front door by playing a slower, less intense type of game that creates more rapport and more openness. And inside that openness, you can do something. When you approach the girl from the outset with a confident game or an attraction game or an overcompensation game, then you create a defensiveness. And with that defensiveness, the girl, inside of her ego, the girl's ego, she's going to reinforce that defensive ego and not let you in, not expose her self-esteem. It's kind of like, let me show it to you again. From the girl's reality point of view, if you can be totally chill, girls have this one. If this is the girl, this is the effect that it has on a chick. If you go and approach her, you're pretty chill. She'll have some, level of self-esteem. It's not 100%. That's not absolute. But I want you to have an absolute self-esteem, 100%. And you're chatting to her, and from your point of view, you're over here, being nice, being sweet, complimenting. After a little while, her defenses will actually kind of go down. And that's called opening up. And it's funny, because all girls are goofy as hell. So fucking goofy. It's so cute. Have you guys ever seen a girl naked? Good. Anyone seen a girl naked? Serious question though, has anyone ever seen all the bruises around girls' legs about here? Yeah. Little bruises. Yeah, for the guys on the camera, everyone in the audience why the fuck do they have those bruises? Because they walk into tables. Because they walk into tables, you're like, fuck. That's why. Girls are goofy as hell. And when you get through to them and they open up and they kind of drop that defensiveness, they can be open to you, but at the same time defensive to other people around them. But they're open to you. You can do no wrong because they've opened up. And you can deeply, deeply compliment them, but also deeply, deeply offend them and upset them. Okay? And so you can use that in a very good leadership role, bringing the best out of her and challenging the bad things, but at the same time, complimenting her and totally reinforcing the good things. And she'll cry in your arms in a good way. Sometimes she'll cry in your arms in a bad way. But that's what it is to be a fucking man for her. In the bar, it takes effort to project and uphold an ego. And that's why the girl likes to hang around her friends who are kind of more relaxed, okay, who know her and know that she's goofy underneath. That's why girls are so evasive, because whenever they meet someone new, they need to ensure they project what they want to project. But when you reapproach again and again, and I'm not saying aggressively chase down and reapproach, but when you're just around the girl and creating familiarity, then she's oh, he's normal. It's not a big deal. And then you see her for who she is and she relaxes around you. And this is a raw, volatile, emotional thing in a good way and a bad way. It can be very defensive. Have you guys ever dated a girl and she just gets really, really angry? Yeah. Have you ever dated a girl and she just gets really, really affectionate? Absolutely. And if you don't reinforce her defenses from the outset, then she's going to be very affectionate toward you and, of course, attracted toward you. And you're going to be the one who she's going to want to love. She's going to develop a loyalty towards you, and that's when you have longer relationships. All right, let me go back to my notes to see what else is going on here. Good. Okay. Good. One other really basic thing that I think about in my mind. Oh, no, okay, let me go to this point. I want you all to have an idea of exactly who you are. So if I ask any of you, who are you? You can give me the right answer. So if you're in a bar and you're doubting your own self or your value, you know that you can trust what you are, that who you are is there for you. I have a theory that is not medically or biologically proven. I have a theory that we're all like Pokemon. Charmander and Charmeleon. There's beta males in the world who think in terms of making an impression, getting validation, pleasing their boss, getting girls to show their friends. There's beta males. And a lot of guys go through a beta male stage, and some men never transcend the beta male stage. what actually happens as all of us, like guys, as young teenagers, you know, when we're 16, 15, we're like happy, our parents look after us, they pay us some pocket money, we go to school, we have some friends, great. We play sport on the weekend, everyone looks after you, for you. You don't even have to think. Your reality is defined for you. Like a woman, like a girl, okay? Now, I'm not going to, like, in reality, chicks do whatever they want, okay? It's perfectly normal and even and equal. But as a kid, everyone does everything for us. But then, around about 17, 18, 19, comes the emo stage. Now, the emo stage is when you start to realize that, oh, your parents aren't going to look after you forever. You can't trust your school. You can't trust your friends. You certainly can't trust your government. This is true in Australia, America, Europe, especially in Russia at the moment. And it's fucked up because you go from being a happy comfort zone to continually variable comfort zone that you can't trust. And a lot of people go into an emo stage where they're like 17 or 18, like, fuck my parents, fuck the school, and it just sucks. Your governing reality is that, like, I can't control the world, fuck the world. I can't trust the world, fuck the world. And most guys will go into that stage and they'll go one of two ways. They'll be like, fuck the world, and they'll be forever like deviant and standoffish and kind of angry. And what you'll do is create blind spots where you just block out the shit that you don't like, you simplify your mind, you don't think for yourself, you work for someone else, you marry a fat chick, and you live happily in your comfort zone, eating fucking nachos every day, watching the Super Bowl, and it's like, and you die of a heart attack at 70. Okay, and why not? I mean, just sit there, do fuck all, and who cares? Drink it away every weekend. But some guys go from, I can't control reality, fuck the world, I'm going to block it out. You know, emo people, they eventually accept that they can't control reality, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just going to be a fat also-ran. But then there are the legends, the Pokemon, who go from Charmander to Charmeleon, where they're like I hate reality. And they transcend it again to the Charizard, okay? And they're like, you know what? I can't control reality. Fuck it, I'm not going to try to, but I'm going to control myself and influence my reality. They're not going to try to control the whole world that once controlled them and made them comfortable. They just think, you know what? I'm going to look after myself, be at one with myself, and now influence those around me. A lot of people want to be like a pickup coach or something, like a life coach. And that's cool. But what everyone internally desires, like it is your biological nature and your DNA that you desire to influence those around you who you love, to create a home that others can live in, to have an income that others can depend upon. And what do you get out of that? I mean, a lot of us in this room are between the age of 20 and 30, for the majority. We're not really like married with children yet. But if you've been an alpha male from the age of, say 15 all the way through to 35, you're like, I've fucked everyone, I've been everywhere, I've had a great fucking time, a lot of influence. The highest holy grail for a man that I've seen, I've known guys and coached guys over the course of 8 years, and I see their longitudinal progress. Eventually, they want to prove to themselves that I'm enough. I'm very, very influential, very good at validating others, and then they want to build like a strong validation circle around them where they give and give and give and give. And that will be your primary motivation. And when you take that motivation to a girl that you meet, you're like, oh, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me or not, but I'm going to be the man that I am, that I want to be. I'm going to offer you a drink. I'm going to offer you a compliment. I'm going to be diplomatic, but not going to let you walk all over me. I'm going to be polite, but not accept any shit. I'm going to stand up for myself because I don't have a low self-esteem. Go ahead, attack me. See what happens. But it bounces off. Probably bounce back onto you. And that's what is charming. That is what is seductive. That's what sweeps girls off their feet, and they love that. And the two go together. So I want you to ask yourself, what stage are you? You're probably in the stage where you're having that identity crisis. Society tells you one thing, you want to be, like internally you want to be like James Bond, all right? Internally you feel that way and you're having this identity crisis. Maybe you have these like little swings where you hate what reality is doing to you. Fuck the government, fuck your school, fuck the pickup community that should do better for you. Well, you've got to kind of like step aside and become your own independent contractor. Most guys won't do it, and I don't believe girls do it either. I mean, genetically, the way I always thought of it is that women have an XX chromosome thing, whereas men have an XY chromosome thing. And the way I thought of it is that like as young kids, as like boys, before we really have like hair on our balls, we feel and think like chicks. I mean, Christmas, we're all like, yay! If Santa doesn't come, we're like crying, you know? If something bad happens at the baseball game, we like run off in the corner and cry. I mean, would you do that emotionally when you're a man? No. So you evolve from like X thinking to Y thinking, where these same things just don't bother you or affect you or inspire you. But you then inspire those around you who do have that XX thinking. And that's what it is to be a leader. It's kind of lonely at the top, but what's cool is that when you meet other guys who are also like Charizard thinkers or XY thinkers, if they are their own country, I mean, I meet my buddies who are so fucking alpha, and they think they're better than me, and I think they're better than them. I think I'm better than them. And we're continually competitive, and we're continually saying that we're better than one another. And it brings the best out of us. We're never submissive. We're always like butting heads and having a beer afterwards. And that's the kind of guy that I want you to be. Okay, butting heads with everyone, but then being complimentary at the same time. Then you kind of enter a league of leaders. And it's like 10% of the population of guys. Only 10%. And if anyone here have a boss, currently work for somebody else, if you want to like get a raise, don't just be good at your job. And this goes for like kind of all walks of life, but this is the best example. If you want to get a raise, or if you work for me in our team of like RSD guys, if you want to get the black polo shirt, which I give out to the guys who really impress, don't just be there happily doing your job. You've got to happily do your job, but like say to your boss, like, I'm the best. What do you want done, boss? I can do it better than anyone. The boss is like, no, you can't. Like, yes, I can. That kind of attitude. I say to dude, like, I'm the best. He's like, no, you're not. How do we know that? I'm like, well, I think that. He's like, well, I'm glad that you do because that's how you should think. And that little competitive attitude on a day-to-day basis, if you're feeling depressed or down or lacking good emotions, that's because you're not initiating anything. If you're not getting girls, don't stress about it. Really enjoy trying. Don't worry if you do or don't get the results. I mean, it takes the purity out of it when you care about your rejections and when you care about your results. I mean, it's just as bad freaking out about rejections as it is pridefully posting that you got like laid with a hot chick on RSD Inner Circle. Okay, we see it on the RSD Inner Circle all the time. It's like, look at all these chicks I banged, validation seeking. Sickens me. I mean, it's okay if it's a personal breakthrough once or twice, but that's not how you should live your life. It's like you walk around. There's a fine line between arrogance and self-esteem. Self-esteem, and this is a really important point. Self-esteem, you're walking around like, I can beat anyone at anything at any time. I can get any girl. Fuck you, watch me do it. But when you do it, you don't tell anyone. You want to do it. That's self-esteem. You want to do everything. Arrogance is when you show people the few times when you did do it, is bragging about it, is look what I did. I mean, sometimes you can brag about stuff to inspire someone who's learning from you, who you're mentoring. But otherwise, it doesn't get you anywhere. And you'll all know something that you're good at that other people admire you for, but you're just like, I don't give a shit. You know, I served in the military. I did some fucking hard missions, but I'm not coming back to civilian life and bragging about it. That is like truly being of value, and that is sustainable, and that's what's going to make you attractive with chicks. Software. Your brain is like a computer, and here we are in Northern California where computers run the world, basically. Okay, this is Silicon Valley. The way you think about your inner game, and by the way, now we're getting to like the how do we apply this in a nightclub? How do we live life with these ideas? The way you program your inner game is the way that it's going to automatically kind of pop up in the nightclub or, you know, in a social situation. So the reason why I am enough is such an important thought or idea is because in the heat of the moment, under pressure, when you're very stressed and you're doing something you haven't done before, your brain's going to go, boom, what is the most important thing that I've learned? What have I learned from the mentors or the leaders who I've learned and had consultation from in this part of my life? And so over the course of like 8 years, we're going to narrow it down and narrow it down and narrow it down so that your instant feedback to stressful stimulus is going to be the phrase, there's no reason why you're not enough. Think of it, all of you right now, think of a situation. You're in the bar. You're a complete newbie. You step up to a girl who's out of your league who looks bitchy, okay? She's got a resting bitch face. Have you guys heard of that? Oh, yeah. I only heard of that recently. Everyone's got that. You know, by the way, the reason why chicks have resting bitch face, for the most part, is because they're standing on high heels and they need to overcompensate their balance. So their shoulders get tight, their face get tight, their neck gets tight, and it pushes their chest up. So they're walking around like this. That's why they have resting bitch face. When they take their shoes off, they're back to like sweetheart on Christmas morning face. Yay! Like happy face. But imagine you're in the bar, you approach a girl, and she's like, meh. She's like, that noise, like, meh. What I want your head to suddenly come up with is there's no reason why I'm not enough. And that should soothe, not empower, not fight back, not become combative. You're like, oh, there's no reason why I'm not enough. So you don't suddenly overcompensate. You don't suddenly evade or scamper away from the girls. You still stand up for yourself and you reinforce that you're of value. You don't go down a pathway that can doubt value. I don't want you to think, my game is a fucking 10. I don't want you to walk up to a girl and she's like, meh. You know, my game is a fucking 10. I'm like, hey, my game is a 10. Oh, look at me. That's called overcompensating. And it's not true that your game is a 10, but it is a truth that you're of value. You're a regular guy who's of value, as long as you shower and groom, unlike me at this point. It's a truism, this inner game programming. An affirmation is something they teach children with like issues, where you basically sing to yourself, I am beautiful, I am wonderful, everyone loves me. I am beautiful, I am. They teach that to children. And that is like a delusion. Walking around like my game is a 10, my game is a 10, is a delusion. You can be deluded socially, but I know deep down you're going to trust, or you're not going to trust something that isn't true. At first, I like the idea that I am enough. That I'm enough to talk to any girl. But sometimes I would doubt that. Like, am I enough? Am I wearing a cool enough shirt for this venue? Do people in this part of the world like this type of haircut? And I could doubt it. Maybe I'm bloated from alcohol drinking 2 days before. But then I thought of the double negative. Instead of me needing to do these like fucking affirmations like I am enough, it's really like, that's really like me trying to build up some kind of ego that sounds like overly confident. But the more I thought about the idea that there's no reason why not, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't need to worry about that. There's no reason why I'm not enough to talk to anyone, anytime, any place. And so when I go to approach a girl, all of my ideas and actions and initiative are being driven by, like, I'm bored. There's no reason I'm not enough. Let's start an interaction here. If somebody tests me or confronts me or walks away from me, I never think that my game is shitty or that what I did was imperfect. It doesn't bother me because I know that I'm within a standard distribution of normal guys. I'm normal to the girl. It doesn't matter. There's just going to be little road blocks and road bumps in the interaction. So it doesn't freak me out, which means that I can reapproach time and time and time again. And when you think about game this way, when you're not as intense from the outset, and when you don't freak out, then you're going to be able to reapproach forever and not get rejections. This type of thinking literally is rejection-free game. Now, you're going to make far less like strong first impressions. A lot of your approaches now are going to be totally meaningless. They're going to be like touching base, and then it's like, oh, whatever, and walking away. But that is better than a rejection or ever risking a rejection. So yeah, we're going to be far less forceful from the outset, but the far bigger advantage of doing things this way is that you can reapproach 1,000 times until you start to make a connection. Or, as many times as you can that night with that girl and her friends and things going on, especially compared to other guys that might be approaching her as well at the same time who are more aggressive, who are trying to make a good impression, who those other guys, and the way that you might have formerly done it, they might engage the girl for 2 or 3 minutes with like flashy type of game, but you'll have the ability to get her to the front door and walk her home at the end of the night. Back to that idea of who you are, what you physically are, so that you can trust that. So that you can trust that there's no reason why you're not enough. When I ask myself, who am I know that it consists of 2 levels. One that I can 100% trust on, and the other is always moving and changing. All of us in this room are essentially identical, a physical being. And if you want to kind of define it inside of this circle of self-esteem, it's present, positive, dominant, and being a man of action. Taking initiative, making plans, man of action. Positive, dominant is fun, playful, risk taker. Dominant is like confronting, challenging, calling people out, teasing. And present is that you kind of want to focus on one thing at one time and do it really well. Your work, or your training, or your relaxation, or your getting drunk with your buddies, or traveling. That's the way that guys are. And the way that you express yourself, that's your nurture. So, we all have nature and nurture. And our nurture is like our culture, in the same way that every country has a different culture. And you can be proud of whatever that is, the way you do your hair, the kind of clothes that you wear, where you've come from, where you want to go. And a lot of people are kind of like ashamed of their culture, or they don't even have a fucking culture, or they never share their culture with the girl. They're spending their entire time asking the girl about her and kind of invading her culture instead of hosting her into your culture. So if you go away from this and you write down 10 things that describe your culture, then all of a sudden you are definitely going to be the man that you're supposed to be. You're going to be physical, positive, dominant, present, man of action, escalating, moving things along, but you're going to express it in your own way. And that's why guys like me, we're all very different people, but we're all equally as attractive and engaging and seductive because we're just expressing our culture. So if I ask you guys right now, if I challenge you, Brendan again, if I say, who are you? And I try to accuse you of something that you're not, you'll know that as much as I berate you or yell at you, it's not going to change the fact that you're present, positive, dominant, and a man of action. You said to me when we're walking outside, you're like, I got to feel like I'm moving forward. I'm like, of course. You got to be focused. You got to be like positive, planning, dominant, challenging yourself. And what form does that take? Different form from this guy here, long hair guy. Present, positive, dominant, man of action, but you have different hobbies. And they're equally as interesting as whatever your hobbies are. Oh, there you go. I had no idea. Yeah. And one girl could date you and you at the same time and enjoy both. What's that?
We dated the same girl.
Yeah. Perfect example. It's like I'm all-knowing. I'm like an oracle of life, right? So it's so weird because like when you approach the next girl, it's exactly the same story. She wants to be with a different type of guy, and you are a different type of guy. I honestly believe, and I want to share this with you, that every girl I meet is inevitably going to like me. Think about it. Every girl you meet can potentially, affectionately like you. Easy. So you're not walking around the club thinking, I am high value, and looking for reactions. You're walking around thinking, I've got potential here, and here, and here, and here, and here. I've got unlimited potential. Nothing to hold on to begin with. No ego and no reinforcement, but I'm unlimited in my potential. The only thing is, you've got to fulfill that potential by expressing unto that girl and her friends and her buddies, maybe 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and a date instead of the logistics. Then you can literally seduce that girl. You can win her heart. Seduction is when you take a girl from her original intentions and convince her to do something else. That's a seduction. Maybe she was convinced that she didn't want to go on a date that week, but because you made such a good effort, you were so expressive, and you kind of stuck in there and held that frame, she's like, fine, I'll meet you. That is a seduction. And girls like it. I mean, you guys have experienced it as well when somebody says to you, dude, try this workout. Dude, try this new cocktail. Dude, have a fucking beer. Dude, try a game. Try going to a seminar. And at first you're going to be like, what the fuck? No. I want to stay in my comfort zone. But your friend can convince you or seduce you to do that. And when it's like a pleasant surprise. And girls are actually looking for you to fight that battle, for you to have enough culture in yourself that you're willing to kind of persist and insist and almost be a little confrontational and challenging to the girl. Like, hey, why the fuck aren't you doing this? You should do this. It's awesome. You should see me. I'm the best fucking guy ever. She's like, how do I know that? Like, you just should. You should know that I'm fucking awesome. And it's just going on with it and expressing yourself that way. It's going to compel people to change what they originally planned to do. So in terms of who you are, you can always trust that you're always the same thing. But even though your experiences in life change, different interests, different results with girls, different body shapes, they're just different celebrations or extensions or different expansions of yourself that later on will become badges of honor, good or bad. Failures or successes become badges of honor that hold up your self-esteem. You're like, yeah, I survived failure, and I didn't get my head expanded and my ego expanded and then later crashed from a failure. Or even maybe you did. Maybe you did have an ego failure, and you survived that, you came back, and then you kind of came back into equilibrium, and you learned not to get too pumped up the next time you had a success in the same kind of context. So, let's keep it going. The affirmations. Oh, okay. Good. The affirmations. Here are my affirmations. And now, here are your affirmations in a bar. Just like going to church, people who go to church every week, they continually refocus the way they think and the way they live based on whatever is being preached to them. And they literally brainwash themselves to believe what they focus on. Well, I'm going to ask you all to focus on some truths. They're going to make you come into congruence with the idea that you are enough. What the masses think is that you need to have good game, good skills, work hard, apply yourself to the girl. These aren't really true. They're true in every other area of life. Work ethic is good in every other area of life. But this is not about work ethic. This is about holding. Time will move forward inevitably. You, as a physical strong thing, will move forward inevitably. You don't need to force that. Because to force it is to overcompensate. It undermines the idea that you are enough. So the next time you're in the bar, stand back and look around. And use these following affirmations. Think to yourself, instead of forcing, think, I can't fucking lose. Because it's true. But you've heard that before. Imagine walking up to any girl and thinking, I can't fucking lose. But that's only half of it. Think this, I can't fucking lose. I might not win, but I can't lose. That is I am enough thinking. I might not win. Might not win with you. I might not win with you. I might not win anywhere. But I can't fucking lose. And that is the shit. And you walk around free and liberated and playing to win and enjoying chasing girls and seeing how deep and how far you can take these interactions. I mean, 9 out of 10 girls are going to say, oh, I don't even live here. I've got a boyfriend. I'm not from around here. I'm leaving the city tonight. I've got to work tomorrow morning. 9 out of 10 girls are not logistically going to be available to flirt with you. Okay, maybe a little bit less than that, but you're going to be able to approach anyone and have a great time with every single person that you meet. You're going to be fun because you can't lose. You might not win, but you can't lose. And when you're playing to win, you're thrilled, you're engaged, and you might go home empty-handed, but you go empty-handed with a smile on your face. Okay? As opposed to, I might lose. I might not get the number. I might not get the girl. I might not pull. That kind of thing is just going to fuck you up, and you're going to go home sad, and it's going to reinforce. So the first affirmation is I can't lose. I might not win, but I can't lose. The second affirmation, and that affirmation was that if it can be done, I can do it. Maybe it can't be done. Maybe that really gorgeous girl over there who I want to talk to has a boyfriend. And truth is, the engagement and the relationship that a hot girl has with her boyfriend of 2 years, or maybe even 3 months, is deeper and stronger and more open than what she'll have with you as a stranger, even if you're better at picking up the girl from the outset and helping her to relax around you than how she has relaxed around her boyfriend. Her depth of relationship with an existing guy is still going to trump you in the first night, the first week, maybe the first couple of weeks. But if you're really, really effective, you can soon overtake that. And I envision a time in my life where I'm going to decide there's one girl that I want to marry. I don't give a fuck who she thinks she's with. I'm going to play to win. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going for you, and this guy better go for you as well. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I do know that when it comes to like life and death, as in giving birth to children, that I'm going to go for the girl that I want, even if it means trumping a relationship she's got with another guy. But fair enough. You know, maybe you'll approach girls and they've got a great relationship and you can respect that, but you can still have fun complimenting that girl. Point is, if it can be done, you can do it. If it can't be done, it can't be done. And you walk home, you're not stressed, you're like, well, it couldn't be done. Who cares? Let's get a pizza. Where you might think that you're kind of shit with girls is that girls who you're meeting, they already have maybe 2 guys that they're kind of seeing. Maybe a boyfriend. Maybe they just broke up with a guy and they fucking hate everyone. I mean, we go on bootcamp and we'll have 3 students and me approach the same girl. And all students will be cool, they'll be reapproaching, they'll be I am enough, they'll be expressive, and the girl will just like fuck off to all of them. And after literally the 10th approach from us as a collective group, I'll make that approach because I can kind of endure her like fieriness. I'm like, hey, look, I work here and I don't know why you're being so cold to all of us. We're really chill. We've been coming here for years. And she's like, I know you are, but I'm having a fight with my boyfriend and he just doesn't want me to, he doesn't like the way I talk to a lot of guys. I'm like, oh, okay, so it wasn't us after all. Like, if it couldn't be done, it couldn't be done. And I'm not walking away like, oh, my game sucks now. I'm walking away, possibly there's a bit of delusion in there. But I'm thinking, you know what? Well, it couldn't be done. I had a good crack at it. Fair enough. What can you do? And I walk away holding value, ready for the next time, ready to keep playing again. And the last affirmation. When you go out to meet girls, and I actually developed this affirmation here in San Francisco at fucking Cat Club. And what I want you to think is that you are as likely as any other guy to pick up a girl from cold approach there and then. You are as likely as any other guy to pick up a girl from cold approach. And that's how I think. And then I'm like, oh, I have all the potential in the world and, you know, no chance of failure. I mean, it's not a failure because there was only a potential that could be fulfilled. It was not expected. And so then you can gain with freedom and fun and expression and no anxiety, no fear of loss, because you're just as likely as any other guy in the bar to pick up a girl. More likely, actually, because you're not going to give in as easily. And those truths, not affirmations, not empowering statements, give you emotional stamina when dealing with testing situations. They make you strong as a man and resilient and seductive, not attractive, the way you need to be. Okay, so that attraction equation that I've done before, I did the attraction manifesto. Who here saw the attraction manifesto? Or a lot of it? 5 hours of attraction material. Only 3 hands in the audience, which is good because that means that everyone who saw it is out there. Basically, that's how we talk about it. Attraction or arousal is actually what we call it, because arousal is engagement, is you being enough, engaging, re-engaging, creating a relationship where the person will be interested and waver towards you, whereas you hold strong. Her value is going to pump up and go down based on the way that you interact with her, whereas yours holds steady. And when the girl is aroused by you, she's kind of drawn to you in the same way that you're drawn to a cute chick in a bikini. Well, the arousal equation is this. Arousal equals being of value, plus full range of emotions to the power of infinity. All right? This is what it is, right? If you go up and you only do game, like, fuck you, I love you, we'll not get along, you're so hot, from a place of like trying to get the girl, it's not enough. You're not going to get arousal. You're not going to seduce the girl. If you go out to a bar and you're of value, I mean, a lot of you guys could be like regular, socially well-adjusted guys, but you don't approach, and even worse, you don't stay in set or reapproach the set. if you're of value and you're not willing to start expressing yourself or relaxing enough to get into an expressive, verbally and physically state, then you're not going to create the interaction with the girl. You're not going to arouse and seduce her and make it an interesting situation. The two have to go together. And, when you start doing that with the girl, when you start talking to the girl, she's going to be a bit nervous. She's going to be a bit evasive. She's going to be skeptical. You all get evasive, nervous, skeptical reactions. But what happens is you immediately compromise your value. You're like, I'm not sure if my game sucks. Or you doubt it or overcompensate your game instead of holding your game, giving away your manhood. And then you lose the frame battle and the arousal stops as well. The way your pulls should look, the way your game should look from now on. Know this, that it's going well when the following things happen. You approach a girl and she looks disinterested. You reapproach her and she looks skeptical and walks away. You reapproach her and she starts challenging. Cool, maybe she walks away again. You talk to her friends. The friends are usually kind of normal because there's less tension there. You approach again and she's like a little confrontational, but not in a bad way. I guess another thing that I want to show you, real quick tangent, is that what a lot of guys tend to do when they start talking to the girl is, in their little in the diagram here, is if they're going to meet a chick, low self-esteem, I don't want to draw the whole diagram again, what they start to do is pour or tip all of their negative energy toward the girl. So imagine the girl's over here. Where is she? Drawing red. In a little dress, happily dancing in a nightclub. Yay! You start to pour all of your energy towards this side of your body. Do all of this projection. And all of a sudden it feels like you're leaning on her. Leaning. And straight away when you're leaning on the chick, she's going to start to feel evasive and taken aback. What I want you to be doing when you're approaching that girl or working with that girl is not only approaching her, but approaching everyone at the same time. So you're talking to the girl, but talking to her friends, and talking to other chicks, and talking to your buddies, and going around and talking to everyone. Because truth is, deep down, you're truly motivated by influencing others, not just influencing that girl. By all means, grab that girl, put her on your arm, politely, socially correctly, take her by the arm, and talk to other people at the same time. Don't put all of your energy into one person because that's kind of needy. That's a needy thing to do. So you want to be it's an automatic, natural takeaway. So you're talking to her, then you'll talk to somebody else instead of trying to trap her attention. With natural game, with I am enough game, you inspire attention of value plus the full range of emotions. You inspire attention instead of capturing attention. You inspire it by being expressive and being that continual flow of emotions that never stops. Automatically, you're going to use a full range of emotions, positives and negatives, because you're going to be complimentary. You don't know what to say? Say anything. Say you're pretty. Say you're crazy. Say I like you. Say we're crazy together. It doesn't need to be complicated, but if you're expressing, it's going to come out in a range of emotions. The guys who are treading lightly, they're really worried to offend the girl. And that's why they don't use the full range of emotions. And if you're only being overly positive, if you're only being overly negative, you're avoiding something. Don't be afraid to tread on the girl's toes, and don't be afraid to kind of blow up her ego either. Be you're so delightful, you're so gorgeous. In fact, I kind of go over the top in terms of the way that I overly compliment the girl. And so this equation here, being of value and chatting, this number, this infinity symbol here, will just keep going up and up and up and up and up, especially relative to other guys that she knows. And the way your game will look is the girl will never actually hit this apex of attraction and being enamored in you. She's never going to be oh my God, this guy's so fucking amazing. She's going to be yeah, we hang out. We hang out. Yeah, we'll go over, have a glass of wine together. It's actually going to look like a game of poker the entire time. Poker, doing a few activities, a few secret messages, a lot of eye contact, a lot of smug intentions, a lot of engagement, a lot of silent misinterpretation. A very invisible game. I use it, I use, you use, I want you to use invisible game. Where you're holding and eye contacting and reapproaching. Not getting pumped up at the big things. Not getting disenchanted by the confrontation. And still holding. And you're seduced. So that's how your pickups should look. Remember the physicality. Remember the range of emotions. Don't get pumped up. Hold consistent. And then all of a sudden, the girl will just be thinking like, this guy is the center of my reality. This guy currently is like the man in my life. Currently, he's the man in my life. And she's going to be drawn to you. And you would have had it happen before. Just because you go to school with a girl, or the girl lives nearby you, maybe because she's in your dormitory, or your roommate or something. Maybe your fucking mate's girlfriend, just because you start spending time together, it automatically and naturally happens. Well, to be good at natural game, make it happen in a natural sense. Guys, can you find a girl and be near her? Yes. Can you find a girl and be near her? Yes. Now, how are you going to do it? Are you going to be creepy and grabby? Are you going to freak out if she loves you and hates you? No. Just find a girl and be near her. And be smug and happy and complimentary while you do it. It's easy to sustain. You're not going to have the state ups and the state crashes. You're not going to run out of energy halfway through the night. You're going to be awake at 5 a.m. because you're the holding pattern. You're the tree that everyone can kind of like take shelter under. You're not going to give in before other guys give in. All right. Cool. Good. Awesome. So, I want to ask you all the question. The final question. The governing thought and reality that's going to make all of your game work. Are you enough to talk to hot girls? Do you have good enough game to pick up that chick? Well, it's not like that. It's not like how good you are at the game. It's that you're a regular guy. You're of value. And what's going to make you better than any other guy she's ever met is that you're going to hold your value whether you get her or not. You're not going to overcompensate. You can be expressive and have fun and fuck around. You're not going to be down. You're not going to be up. You're just going to be expressive. You're not going to give in. You're going to be influential. You're going to be nice. You're going to be of value. And when it's challenged, you're going to realize that there's no reason why you're not enough to talk to that girl. And whether she dates you or not, you're still going to be a nice guy. Whether you're socially well-adjusted or not, you're still going to be a nice guy, not giving in, not taking any shit, giving compliments, being influential, adding value with your self-esteem to the world, and you can perpetuate that forever. You can be a nice guy to every girl you meet. You should never get rejected. It won't necessarily go smooth, okay? You're not going to win, but you can't lose. That's what I am enough game is. And if I can even explain it to you in 10% of the way that I explain it, mates, you are going to fucking dominate. So that's all I have to say about it. I hope that you understood it a lot. Thank you.